So this is the Sandmarc Probe Lens for the iPhone. So this is actually a wide angle macro lens. And as you can see, it's a unique design for a lens. It kind of looks a little goofy on the phone, but that design actually enables you to get some really cool shots. So you're able to kind of use this lens to kind of get into places where you can't get with other lenses. And one cool thing about this lens, it has a light on the end. So if you stick it in a dark area, you're able to light the scene up that way. There's two settings, one's a high and one's a low. And the lens also has a focus wheel. So right here, you can turn this and get focus. And then there's actually a USB-C charge port right here to enable you to charge the light here. Now, if you haven't heard of Sandmarc before, they are a company based in the USA, and they make all kinds of different lenses for the iPhone, as well as a bunch of other gear and accessories. But full disclosure, they did send me this probe lens to test out and review. And they also sent this camera slider they make. And this will enable me to get nice, smooth shots with this lens. So that is pretty cool. And I'm just gonna kind of mount this on the tripod for the most part. But I'm also going to just kind of handhold it. Kind of notice if I do something like this with my arm, I can really get some pretty smooth shots like that. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, we're gonna go around, we'll take a bunch of shots with this lens, and let's go see how it performs.
All right, so for this first example, I was trying to get some clips of some bees on these flowers, and that proved to be a little tricky since they were flying around so much. So I found an ant mound, and that was definitely a little easier to shoot. So I zoomed in on it with the slider and got up real nice and close. And you can see here that the image quality is great. You can definitely see a lot of detail here. Alright, so next I'll show you some more examples here. We'll look at a bunch of shots I captured with the lens while I was out on my hike, and then after that we'll look at some footage I captured of some other stuff at home. So there's one thing I noticed about using the light on the end of the lens. So if you're not close to the subject, there will be some flare introduced to the image. You can clearly see it in the shot here, but once we get close to the subject and light up the subject, then that flare is greatly reduced. So it's just something to keep in mind when you use the light on the lens. So I also played around with the lens at home and just set up some different shots for fun. So with this shot here, I was just shooting through this magazine, just stuck the lens right in there, and here's the actual footage. I really love the different perspective that this lens is able to give you. And here's another shot I set up, this time just making some coffee. And here's what we get when putting the shots together. Pretty cool stuff. And since this lens is awesome for getting into tight places, I also took some shots of my car engine just for fun. So overall, I think that the Sandmarc Probe Lens is a really great tool for capturing unique footage on the iPhone. I mean, you're able to fit the lens into tight places, which gives it the ability to capture some really cool perspectives that you can't really get with other lenses. Now, the lens is not perfect. There is that flare issue that I pointed out when using the light, although it's not much of an issue once you get close to the subject. But the image quality was great overall, and the lens is a ton of fun to use. It opens up a lot of creative options and you can definitely get some cool shots with it. Now the lens is more expensive than some of the other Sandmarc lenses that I've reviewed in the past, such as the 100mm macro lens and the 6x telephoto lens. At the time of recording this video, the probe lens is $350 US when buying it with the phone case that the lens screws into, or if you already have a Sandmarc case, then the lens is $335 without the case. So it's not exactly cheap, but you do get a high quality, unique, and well-built lens for that cost. Now, if you decide to purchase this lens, or any other Sandmarc gear for that matter, they're offering you a 10% discount on your order when using the coupon code that I'll leave in the description of this video. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see ya on the next one.